Welcome back. In this video, we're going to actually add the asteroids to our Asteroid Run game. So, like with the ship and the missiles, we're going to add a class, call it Asteroid, and set it super to game object. And I'm going to drag the image I'm going to use for the asteroid here into the project. Links are in the show notes. And I can add the draw method that we've been using to actually draw the game object on the screen. And here I'll draw the asteroid picture. And again, we draw it at the X and Y coordinates. Now, asteroid is going to have an additional property called speed. This is going to be a double value, so that means a decimal value. And this will track how fast the asteroids appear to be coming at you, essentially. And part of this means we have to actually change our template, our game object template. I need the Y coordinate now to, instead of being an integer, to also be a double, so that it can contain decimal values to have more precise adjustments of asteroid speed. And with that change, I can now add the constructor that we've been doing to initialize the asteroid. And I'm going to set the width and the height to match the width and height of the picture we're using for the asteroid. But I'm also going to initialize the speed to be just a random value. So it'll be, up to 2 steps for each move, plus a little offset so that we always make sure that it moves and doesn't get set to 0. Now, in the setup game code, we want to actually start the game with some asteroids on the screen. So it makes sense to do that here where we're setting up everything else. But I'm actually going to create a separate method to add the asteroids because we're going to use that in a couple places. So I'm going to create a method called add asteroid. This will add a single asteroid. So it creates a new asteroid, sets its X coordinate at a random position across the screen, starts it at the top of the screen, and adds it to an array. And I'll start off just by adding 3 asteroids here real quick. If you wanted to start with a lot more, you could put a for loop to add them. 3 is a good number to start with. And in the game timer, of course, we need to move the asteroids. The asteroids move down from the top of the screen based on their speed. And when they reach the bottom of the screen, they're removed, and then an entirely new asteroid is added. And now we can actually draw the asteroids on the screen. So again, we loop through them and call the draw method on the asteroid class. And you'll notice here, if we try to run, we got compile errors. It's always good to see one to see how to fix it. In this case, it's telling us that the asteroids property isn't available because we didn't add that yet. So here I can add the asteroids array of type asteroid. That'll fix all those compile errors, so I can run it again. And when I start the game, you can now see 3 asteroids started and are falling at varying rates of speed. And when they reach the bottom, new ones fall. Of course, you can't do anything to the asteroids. The missiles fly right through them. They also fly right through the ships. So the next thing to add is to end the game when an asteroid actually collides with a ship. So here I can add a method, and we'll call it hits ship, as in, did the asteroid hit the ship? And it'll return true if it did hit the ship, and false if it didn't. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to create a rectangle that is the size of the ship, and another rectangle the size of the asteroid, and I'll check the intersection, essentially to see if they overlap in any way. And if they do overlap, then I return true to mean they hit each other. And I can now use this method to test if there's a collision, which would cause the game to end. So here in the timer, I can check each asteroid to see if they hit the spaceship. And if they did, I stop the timer and I just display a message that says game over. So we'll start the game. You've got some asteroids coming down here. You still can't shoot them, but when one hits a ship, the game is over. In the next video, we'll add the ability to shoot the asteroids.